Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Tuesday, April 12th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. There are some terrific archives at the top of the page, some old television history and some old great stuff I did on television. There's some great funny stories that we were involved in, and that's there for your viewing pleasure. Also, we have our eye candy feature along the bottom of the screen. Sorry about yesterday. I went ahead and I promoted something and then left the house and got to the radio station and realized I hadn't sent it to my friends at Mind Active so they could put it up for you. But we actually have something better today anyhow, so we'll get to all that a little bit later on. Speaking of Mind Active and jcontheline.com, every week I get a printout of the analytics of this website, and you just find out stuff like, are people coming directly to jcontheline.com? What percentage are coming from other websites? What countries we're hitting, for example. Let me just check here right now while I'm looking at this, because there was something really interesting last time. We have most of our people, watching this from the United States. There are 3,000 people watching this in Canada, or at least there were last week. United Kingdom, 1,200 people, 1,200 page views from Great Britain. Who knew? Greece, Australia, Sweden, 276 page views in Germany. Chile, 248 page views. The Netherlands, 200. You think I'm making this up? I'm not. It's right here. And then they have a little map of the United States, and it shows you like the green parts of where the most activity is coming from. I never would have known any of this stuff, and I'm speechless. I cannot believe that this thing is going out all over the world. And I know it's the World Wide Web, but you're sitting in St. Louis talking about all the goofy stuff that happens here. You just don't have the idea that somebody is watching you in Greece, or that 200 people or 1,200 people from here or there. But the thing I wanted to show you most of all, last Friday, look at this. This is the analytic for the week. Look at that bounce right there on Friday. We had, what was it? It was just a little over 30,000 people checking this thing out. So let me just tell you, jcontheline.com is exploding, and you're going to see lots of great stuff, but this is just fabulous, and there's some other stuff coming up very soon. Can't talk about it yet, but there's things happening all the time. All right, we are on the air on the Big 550 KTRS every weekday morning from 10 until 1. I am partnered with Trish Gazelle, putting the broad back in broadcasting. We hope you get a chance to listen. Let's get right to the show business and entertainment news. Benicio del Toro. Okay, you've seen him in a lot of movies, and what you didn't see him in was Rod Stewart's daughter. But apparently he was. He's 44, she's 31, and they're having a baby. And it was a mistake because they were just sort of fooling around. And next thing you know, here you go. And, this was back at the Oscars 7 years ago that he nailed Scarlett Johansson in an elevator. She was 19 at the time. Fine work, my swordsman, fine work. American Idol producer Nigel Lythgoe is having an epiphany, perhaps, because this thing with Pia Toscano is really, really blowing up in their faces. And I think this has upset people because, again, she was probably going to win the whole thing, and then last week they bounced her off, and people are like, what the hell's going on over there? So now they're actually talking about a rule change next year on American Idol. Here's the quote: if we change the rules, maybe next season, maybe look at doing things the same way we do on So You Think You Can Dance, so that America votes for the bottom three, and then the judges decide who goes home. Well, thank you. It required a rule change to right the atrocity that you guys pulled off last week. I ain't watching the show anymore. I'm not kidding. Shirley MacLaine was on Oprah. By the way, Oprah has a good show today. Saturday Night Live reunion with a lot of the people that you've watched on the show for the last, 35, 40 years. Shirley MacLaine was on Oprah yesterday, and she got talking about her sex life. And she has revealed that she once got erotically violated, shall we say, by 3 different guys in one day. She will be 77 in about 2 weeks. And she says, quote, it was a political campaign where everybody was doing the same thing. I didn't want to be left out. When in Rome. Britney Spears touring with Nicki Minaj. No St. Louis date. Closest one to St. Louis is Chicago on July 8th at the United Center, just in case you're interested in train wrecks. Steve Carell's final episode of The Office is going to be 50 minutes long, 5-0. Instead of 30, that'll air on April 28th, which is just a couple of weeks away. Rolling Stones have done a song with their original bassist Bill Wyman for the first time in 20 years. They said it was just like old times, except for the arthritis, the acid reflux, the high blood pressure, cataracts, diabetes, sciatica, and excessive flatulence. Michelle Obama invited Jessica Simpson to perform for military families tomorrow at Coors Field in Denver. Now, come on. Aren't there enough people saying that the Obamas hate the military in our military? Here's some advice. You have a court date. You've done something terrible, or you're being accused of having done something terrible. And you want the judge to show some leniency. Here's what you do. Try to get your case scheduled right after lunch. A new study found that judges are twice as likely to give someone a break if it's their first case after their lunch break. Makes sense, too. Birthdays today. This is like one of those weird stories. You know, I think I know a lot about show business and just like show business minutia and, you know, trivia and stuff like that. And I try to share that stuff with everyone I can because it's fun. This one I didn't know. And I've interviewed Andy Garcia. Andy Garcia, great actor, the Ocean's movies. He was great at Stand and Deliver and lots of other great movies, by the way. He's 55 years old today. He is a former Siamese twin. Take it easy, McKenna. Whenever McKenna, here's the Siamese twin. He starts in with his Siamese twin jokes. Brian, hold yourself. Now stifle. Anyhow, Andy Garcia, a former Siamese twin. The only evidence he has of a conjoined Cuban brother is a small scar on his shoulder. The twin never developed past the size of a tennis ball. Also birthday today, David Cassidy, 61 today. Interestingly, Danny Bonaducci's career never developed past the size of a tennis ball. And my hero, even though he's not a particularly good husband, although maybe now he is after the scandal, David Letterman, turning 64 years old today. You know, his father was a florist back in Indianapolis and died at a very early age, something like 56, which is, I think, right about the same time David Letterman had his quadruple bypass. So Dave almost ended up like the old man. It's pretty amazing how that stuff happens, you know. I'm blessed with good genes. Let's just put it that way. Thank you, Dad. David Letterman, 64 years old today. All right, now, yesterday, all day, Alex Fees on Channel 5, who is a good guy, by the way. Alex is a great guy. And so at noon, 5 and 6 yesterday, you may recall having seen video of actor Gary Sinise on television because he was here in St. Louis, and he was here to promote the fact that he's doing a fundraising concert for some military types on the Memorial Day weekend and performing next month. And the local media's fascination with the Lieutenant Dan Band. Like, oh, you know, you got reporters up there going, well, it's very interesting. He has a band called the Lieutenant Dan Band. Now, you might recall that he had a role in Forrest Gump where he played Lieutenant Dan. That's where he got the name from, Lieutenant Dan. And I found this all fascinating because 5 years ago, I ran into Gary Sinise at Wrigley Field. He sang, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," 7th inning stretch, and I sat with Gary Sinise and had this photograph taken. There I am with my shaved head, by the way. Boy, I see those pictures now, and I really wonder what the hell I was thinking of. But then again, it's not that much better now, is it? But yeah, 5 years ago, I got Gary Sinise talking about the Lieutenant Dan Band, and it's hard to say, but Lieutenant Dan Band. He probably does it better than I do. But all these television stations yesterday making it sound like it was some sort of revelation. So all day long, Alex Fees is doing the story. And he's talking about, and they really made a point of pushing this, the fact that, Lieutenant Dan Gary Sinise talked exclusively with News Channel 5. Exclusively with News Channel 5. Says it at noon, says it at 5, says it at 6. There's only one problem. Gary Sinise was on with Kevin Steincross on Fox 2 yesterday morning. So this is not Alex Fees' fault. This is sloppiness at your local TV stations. And somebody, doesn't see the other interview on one of the competing stations and goes ahead and isn't that even Alex's fault? Alex is just telling what a producer or a news director or some middle-level management person or a promotion guy, those are the ones to watch out for, to go ahead and say this, push this idea that, he had an exclusive interview with Gary Sinise. He didn't. He was on with Kevin Steincross. Trish and I were sitting there in the studio watching it yesterday morning. So come on. Anyhow, that's our eye candy picture today if you want to see a good shot of actor Gary Sinise. All right. my exclusive interview. What are we going to do, folks? What are we going to do? Anyhow, that's it. That's enough for a Tuesday, April 12th, 2011. The Daily Dose, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Got people watching in Greece, United Kingdom. What else did I say? The Netherlands? Was that the other one? I'll look it up later. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.